we will now look at the structure of speech. The speech structure consists of prosodic factors, articulatory phonetics, and acoustic phonetics. Now, under prosodic factors, we have factors such as stress, intonation, and rate of speech. Then we have articulatory phonetics. The study of speech sound is called phonetics, and the more specific study of pronunciation of speech sound is called articulatory phonetics. Then we have acoustic phonetics. Acoustic phonetics basically is a subfield of phonetics and deals with the acoustic speech. We will now look at the description of all these different stages of the structure of speech. Under prosodic factors, you have stress, intonation, and rate. Now, what we mean by stress, intonation, and rate, prosodic factors basically has been defined as a general term which refers to the aspect of an utterance's sound that are not specific to the words themselves. We have to understand that these factors influence the overall meaning of an utterance. Now, stress. Stress refers to the emphasis given to syllables in a sentence. Now, stress corresponds closely with loudness. For example, in one pronunciation of chimpanzee, Z receives the greatest stress, Pan receives the least, and Chimp is intermediate, according to Ferraria. Intonation refers to use of pitch which signifies different meaning. The pitch pattern of sentence is called its intonational contour. Now, in English, for example, intonation rises at the end of yes/no questions that expect a yes or no answer. For example, are you coming? Are you doing it? But not WH questions that begin as words such as who, what, when, where, or why. For example, who is coming? Or declarative sentences, I'm coming. So intonation, stress are something which emphasize or which affect our speech. Now, coming to rate. Rate refers to the speed at which speech is articulated. Now, we modify our rate of speech by altering the number and length of pauses during utterances. And they are done with an intention to convey specific or intended meaning. Then you see articulatory phonetics. What do we mean by articulatory phonetics? All of the sounds of language can ultimately be described in terms of the movement of the physical structure of the vocal tract. Speech sounds differ principally in whether the airflow is obstructed, and if so, at what point and in what way. Although vowels are produced by letting air flow from the lungs in an unobstructed way, consonants are produced by impeding the airflow at some time. Now, look at this diagram and we can mark the different levels of the places of articulation. Now, number one, if you can see here, is you have bilabial. Then 2 is the labiodental, 3 is the dental, 4 is alveolar, 5 is palate, 6 is palatal, 7 is called velar, 8 is uvular, and 9 here is basically glottal. Then you have acoustic phonetics, which is the subfield of phonetics and deals with acoustic aspect of speech sounds. Under this, you have spectrogram. What we mean by spectrogram is that it is a visual representation of the spectrum of frequencies of sound or other signals as they vary with time. Spectrograms are sometimes called sonograph, voice prints, or voice grams. Coming to format transitions. The Acoustical Society of America defines a format as a range of frequencies of a complex sound in which there is an absolute or relative maximum in the sound spectrum. We have to understand that the formants are distinctive frequency components of the acoustic signal produced by speech or singing. Coming to parallel transmission. Parallel transmission is something where you do not produce phonemes like beads on a necklace. Instead, you are transmitting overlapping parts of phonemes in parallel. Then you have context conditional variation, which is basically the understanding that each phoneme is affected by surrounding phoneme, which also known as lack of invariance. To conclude, speech may be described in terms of the articulatory movements needed to produce a speech sound and the acoustic properties of the sound.